attention or signals of focus, signals of stagnation, or signals of growth. If you start your day unconsciously, you will live unconsciously. If you start your day intentionally, you will live intentionally. This is not about having the perfect morning routine. This is not about waking up at 4 a.m. or following some unrealistic checklist you found on a productivity blog. This is about something far more powerful and far more sustainable. Designing the first moments of your day so your brain knows you're in charge. Let's be honest, most people lose the day before the day even begins. They grab their phone before they even breathe. They scroll through notifications before they sit up. They check messages before they check on themselves. Their mind gets hijacked by comparison, urgency, noise, and stress. And without realizing it, they've already given their power away. This is the pain. A reactive morning creates a reactive mind. A reactive mind creates reactive choices. And reactive choices keep you stuck in the same emotional patterns for years. You know this pattern well. You've lived it. You've felt it. Those mornings where you wake up late, grab your phone, rush around, skip intention, and then wonder why your mind feels cloudy, unstable, or irritated by noon. You didn't do anything wrong. Your brain just followed the first pattern you gave it, and if you want a different life, you must give it a different pattern. Here is the core truth of this habit. Your mornings train your mind for the rest of the day. You set your priorities, you set your emotional tone, you set your mental clarity, you set your level of discipline, you set your resilience, not by thinking, not by hoping, but by action. When you start your morning with intention, you tell your brain, we choose clarity today, we choose focus today, we choose control today, we choose growth today. So what does an intentional morning actually look like? Not perfection. Not discipline forced on you by guilt. Not a ritual you can't maintain. Instead, think of it as a simple, repeatable system. One that takes only a few minutes but rewires your mindset for the entire day. Let's break it down. Step 1. Before anything else, breathe and notice. Don't rush. Don't reach. Don't react. Let your mind come online slowly, with presence. This moment teaches your brain something important. I choose awareness before action. Even 5 quiet breaths are enough. You are not your notifications. You are not your obligations. You are not your stress. You are a mind choosing its first move. This is the foundation. Step 2. Drink water and wake the body. Your brain thrives on hydration. Your energy depends on it. Most people feel morning anxiety simply because their brain is dehydrated and overstimulated. 1 glass of water, 1 stretch, 1 conscious inhale. This signals to your nervous system. We begin the day by caring for the vessel that carries us. You sharpen your thinking by resetting your physiology. This is the fastest way to get ahead of your emotions. Step 3. Set 1 clear intention for the day. Not 10, not 5. 1. Write it, say it, hold it. This is your mental anchor. Maybe your intention is focus. Maybe it is patience. Maybe it is discipline. Maybe it is calm. Maybe it is progress. But choose one and let that single intention serve as the compass that guides your decisions, reactions, and energy for the next 24 hours. Your brain loves clarity. It performs better when it knows what matters. This one practice alone can change your entire relationship with the day. Step 4. Protect your attention in the first 20 minutes. Your phone is not the enemy, but your lack of boundaries is. If you let the world in before you let your mind wake up, you lose ownership of your day. You become reactive instead of proactive. You begin to think about other people's goals instead of your own. Give yourself 20 minutes apiece. No social media. No inbox. No comparing your life to strangers. No jumping into the chaos. This is your time, your space, your reset. Protect it like your mindset depends on it, because it does. Step 5. Move your body, even for 1 minute. You don't need a workout. You don't need a gym. You don't need an hour. You need movement. Movement wakes up your brain. Movement sharpens your focus. Movement stabilizes your mood. Movement signals to your mind that you're ready to engage with the world, not hide from it. This can be stretching, walking, breathing deeply, rolling your shoulders, or stepping outside into fresh air. Just move. Your mind follows your body. Why this habit rewires your mindset? Because it changes the direction of your attention. Because it interrupts your old patterns. Because it shifts your identity from passive to active. Because it teaches your brain a new sequence of signals. You stop waking up to the world. You start waking up to yourself. Instead of reacting, you begin choosing. Instead of scrambling, you begin leading. Instead of drifting, you begin deciding. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, you begin feeling grounded. This is how new neural pathways form, through consistent, meaningful micro-actions. And the best part, you don't need perfection, you just need practice. If you miss a day, you begin again. If you wake up late, you still claim 1 moment of intention. If you fall back into old patterns, you breathe and return. Your goal is not to impress anyone. Your goal is to rewire your brain, and your brain rewires through repetition. Identity shift, who you become with this habit. When you start your mornings with intention, you become someone who directs your day instead of being dragged by it. You become someone who values clarity over chaos. You become someone who acts instead of reacts. You become someone who listens to their own mind before the world interrupts it. You become someone trustworthy to yourself. And that trust is the foundation of discipline. Discipline is the foundation of consistency. Consistency is the foundation of identity. Identity is the foundation of transformation. This is why this habit matters so much. It is the first brick in who you are building. Begin with intention. Say it softly, say it clearly. Say it every morning until your mind believes it. Now that you know how to claim your morning, the next habit will teach you how to protect the single most valuable resource you have, your focus. When your focus sharpens, your entire life sharpens with it. Let's begin. Chapter 2. Protect your focus. Focus is the currency of your life. Every dream you chase, every habit you build, every part of your mindset you're trying to rewire, it all depends on your ability to focus. Because without focus, even the strongest intentions fall apart. Without focus, even the smartest plans collapse. Without focus, your mind becomes a battlefield where every notification, every distraction, every thought, and every craving fights for control. Most people never lose to lack of ability. They lose to lack of focus. You can have ambition, you can have talent, you can have motivation, you can have good intentions, but if you can't direct your attention, none of it will matter. Attention is what turns potential into progress. And this is why protecting your focus is one of the most powerful habits you can build to rewire your mindset. To understand why this habit matters, first you have to face the real pain. Your attention is being stolen every hour, every minute, every morning, every night. The world is louder than it has ever been. Everything is designed to pull at your mind. Apps, messages, updates, ads, alerts, noise, urgency, expectations. You wake up and the world is already asking for pieces of you. You check your phone for just 1 second and 30 minutes disappear. You open a message just to reply quickly, and suddenly your mind is pulled in 5 directions. You scroll for a quick break, and suddenly your entire afternoon feels heavy, unproductive, and scattered. This is the pain. A distracted mind becomes a defeated mind, and a defeated mind cannot build a strong, focused, resilient life. The truth that most people ignore is this: Focus isn't something you find. It's something you protect. You don't discover focus accidentally. You don't stumble into focus by luck. You create space for it. You guard it. You design your environment to support it. You train your mind to return to it over and over again. Focus is not a personality trait. Focus is a boundary. And if you want to rewire your mindset, you must build a life where your attention is not constantly under attack. Think about your days. Think about how often your mind gets pulled away from what you actually want to do. Think about how many minutes you lose checking, switching, bouncing, refreshing, scrolling, responding, and reacting. Each small distraction may feel harmless, but they come with a heavy price. Every distraction breaks your mental rhythm, and your brain takes time to recover, far more time than you realize. This is why you feel tired even when you haven't done much. This is why your thoughts feel foggy even when you slept well. This is why you feel behind even when you started early. This is why your mind feels unfocused even when you want to be productive. Your brain is not broken. You're not lazy. You're not unmotivated. You're simply overexposed to noise and underprotected from it. So how do you take back your focus? By building a simple system that makes distractions powerless and makes your attention powerful again. Let's break it down into practical, repeatable steps. Step 1. Turn off non-essential notifications. You don't realize how many times a day your phone steals your attention. Alerts, buzzes, pop-ups, pings. Each one slices your focus, even if you don't open it. Your brain is wired to respond to novelty. Every ping feels urgent. Every flash feels important. Every vibration feels like a demand. But 99% of these notifications are nothing more than digital noise, designed to train your brain to be reactive instead of intentional. Turn them off, all of them, except what truly matters. Your mind deserves quiet. When your phone gets quieter, your brain gets stronger. Step 2. Create one daily focus block. Just one. Not a full day. Not a full morning, not a complicated schedule. One protected block where you work without interruptions. 25 minutes, 45 minutes, 60 minutes, whatever you can handle. A block where you step completely into the task, into the moment, into the flow. This is not about productivity. This is about identity. You're proving to your brain, we can stay with one thing, we can finish, we can follow through. Focus is a muscle, and this is how you train it. Step 3. Clean your environment before you clean your mind. You can't focus in a cluttered space. Your brain interprets visual mess as cognitive load. Every object, every item, every random thing you can see competes for your attention. You may not notice it consciously, but your brain feels it. So take 1 minute. Just one. Clear the desk. Remove what isn't needed. Set the scene for clarity. A clean environment is not just aesthetics, it is psychological strategy. When your space is calm, your mind is calm. When your mind is calm, your focus strengthens. Step 4. Protect your mornings. Your strongest focus lives in the morning, before the world has a chance to distract you, before your mind gets tired, before demands start pulling you in 10 directions. Don't give your freshest mind to your phone. Don't give your clarity to noise. Don't give your first energy to distraction. Give your morning focus to yourself, to your growth, to your goals. This single shift can change the entire architecture of your day. Step 5. Practice the art of monotasking. Your brain is not designed for multitasking. Every time you switch tasks, you lose mental energy and clarity. Monotasking is simple. Do one thing. Finish one thing. Respect one thing. Your brain will thank you for it. Your work will get better. Your thoughts will get clearer. Your stress will drop. Your discipline will rise. Doing one thing fully is far more powerful than doing 5 things halfway. Why this habit rewires your mindset. Because focus is the foundation of mental strength. When you protect your focus, you strengthen your discipline. When you strengthen your discipline, you reinforce your identity. When you reinforce your identity, you transform your mindset. Every time you choose to focus, you are teaching your brain how to stay with discomfort, how to resist impulse, how to ignore noise, and how to trust your own direction. Focus makes you calmer. Focus makes you clearer. Focus makes you more resilient. Focus makes you less reactive. Focus makes you feel capable again. You cannot build a powerful mind with scattered attention. You cannot build new habits with distracted energy. You cannot rewire your mindset if you lose the battle for your attention every single day. Protecting your focus is how you take your power back. Identity shift. Who you become with this habit. You become someone who doesn't get pulled around by noise, someone who sets boundaries without guilt, someone who works deeply and completes what they start, someone who doesn't need chaos to feel stimulated, someone whose mind feels sharp, clean, and steady, someone who respects their time and gets respected in return. Focus is more than a habit. It's a form of self-respect. Guard your focus. Simple, strong, non-negotiable. Say it again. Guard your focus. Guard your mind. Guard your path. Now that you have claimed your morning and protected your focus, the next habit will challenge you to do something uncomfortable. Something that builds resilience, discipline, and mental toughness at a level few people ever reach. It's time to embrace discomfort on purpose. Let's move to Chapter 3. Chapter 3. Do one hard thing daily. There is a part of your mind that only grows when you choose discomfort. A part that remains dormant when life is too easy, too predictable, too convenient. A part that is responsible for resilience, discipline, confidence, mental toughness, identity strength, and emotional stability. Most people never meet that part of themselves, not because they lack strength, but because they avoid the very discomfort that would reveal it. This is why doing one hard thing daily is one of the most transformative habits you can build. It's not about suffering. It's not about forcing pain. It's not about punishing yourself. It's about training your nervous system to stay steady when things get uncomfortable. Because discomfort is the doorway to every meaningful upgrade in your life. When you avoid discomfort, you reinforce the belief that you are fragile. When you face discomfort, you reinforce the belief that you are capable. This is the difference between a mindset that breaks easily and a mindset that bends, adapts, and grows stronger with every challenge. But before we dive into how to build this habit, we need to start with the pain. The reality most people live with but rarely acknowledge. Most people design their lives around comfort. They wake up and avoid the cold. They avoid hard conversations. They avoid exercise. They avoid challenges, risks, opportunities that feel intimidating. They avoid tasks that demand mental effort. They avoid anything that doesn't feel immediately rewarding, pleasant, or easy. Every time they avoid discomfort, their brain learns a damaging lesson. I can't handle this. Let's escape. And over time, this becomes automatic. Avoidance becomes their identity. Comfort becomes their prison. And their world becomes smaller, weaker, more fragile. But here is the truth. Comfort kills growth. Not because comfort is bad, but because it trains your mind to associate ease with safety and effort with danger. You rewire your mindset by reversing that association. When you purposely do something uncomfortable, something slightly hard, slightly challenging, you send a powerful message to your brain. I can handle more than I thought. I am not here to hide. I can walk toward discomfort instead of away from it. That message is the beginning of strength. Doing one hard thing daily doesn't mean climbing mountains or doing extreme challenges. It means choosing one small thing that stretches you just a little more than yesterday. Something that builds tolerance. Something that builds discipline. something that builds mental stability. Let's break this habit down into simple, practical steps. Step 1. Identify one hard thing in your day. A hard thing isn't necessarily dramatic. It isn't something that breaks you. It's something that grows you. It can be physical, emotional, mental, or practical. Taking a cold shower for 30 seconds. Going for a walk when you don't feel like it. Starting a task you've been avoiding. Finishing something you've procrastinated for weeks. Having a difficult conversation you keep postponing. Waking up without hitting snooze. Turning off your phone for 30 minutes. Saying no when you usually say yes. Reading instead of scrolling. Sitting in silence for 5 minutes instead of escaping into noise. The goal is not to suffer. The goal is to stretch. Your discomfort threshold rises when you choose challenges instead of being ambushed by them. Step 2. Do the hard thing first when possible. When you delay the hard thing, your stress grows, your anxiety grows, your resistance grows, your excuses multiply, your mind gets heavier. But when you face the hard thing early, everything else becomes easier. Because once you've done something challenging, the rest of your day feels lighter by comparison. Your brain recognizes the pattern. We did something hard. We didn't die. We didn't collapse. We didn't run. We can handle more. This is how resilience is built. Through repetition, not luck. Doing the hard thing first is not always possible, but when it is, it's one of the most powerful confidence-building strategies available. Step 3. Stay with the discomfort instead of escaping it. When things get uncomfortable, your brain activates old programs. Quit, run, hide, delay, distract, avoid. But discomfort is not danger. Discomfort is data. And if you stay with it for a few seconds, just a few seconds, you begin to see that nothing bad happens. Your heart beats, your breath shifts, your mind resists, but you overcome it. And in that moment, you're no longer the person who used to escape. You're becoming someone new, someone stronger, clearer, calmer, and more disciplined. The key is this. Don't run from the feeling. Observe it. Let it rise. Let it peak. Let it pass. Discomfort is temporary. Growth is permanent. Step 4. Celebrate the micro-victory. Not with rewards, not with indulgence, not with treats. Celebrate internally, with acknowledgement. I did something difficult today. I followed through. I kept my word to myself. This small recognition releases dopamine in a meaningful way, not from distraction, but from discipline. You want your brain to associate challenge with satisfaction, not stress. When discipline feels rewarding, your identity shifts. You begin to see yourself as someone who overcomes instead of avoids, and that identity is far more powerful than motivation. Step 5. Track it. A simple list, a small journal, a notes app, a single line every day. Hard thing of the day. Tracking builds momentum. Momentum builds consistency. Consistency builds identity. This is not about checking boxes. It's about showing your brain every day we are becoming someone new. Why this habit rewires your mindset? Because discomfort is the teacher. And you can't learn strength without feeling its pressure. Every hard thing you do expands your discomfort tolerance, shrinks your fear response, makes obstacles seem smaller, builds psychological stability, strengthens your sense of control, trains your mind to push through emotional friction, helps you adapt instead of collapse. You stop seeing challenges as threats. You start seeing them as opportunities. You stop running from effort. You start walking toward growth. This is how warriors are built. This is how discipline is forged. This is how a mindset rewires itself from fragile to unbreakable. When you do one hard thing daily, you become someone dependable to yourself. And when you trust yourself to face discomfort, everything else in life becomes easier. Identity shift. Who you become with this habit. You become someone who doesn't break at the first sign of pressure. Someone who stands tall when others shrink. Someone who doesn't fear challenge. Someone who doesn't negotiate with their excuses. Someone who doesn't retreat when things get uncomfortable. Someone who takes action when others hesitate. Someone whose strength is not loud, but steady. Someone who grows daily, not by chance, but by choice. Your resilience becomes your identity. Your discipline becomes your baseline. Your courage becomes your normal. And slowly, quietly, consistently, you become a different person, stronger, sharper, more grounded, more capable, more unstoppable. Discomfort is your gym. Say it when you hesitate. Say it when you want to quit. Say it when you need strength. Discomfort is your gym. Every repetition makes you stronger. Now that you've learned to do one hard thing daily, to meet discomfort, to choose challenge, to build resilience, it's time to shift into a habit that transforms how you show up in the world. You've built strength. Now it's time to build integrity. Chapter 4 is about finishing what you start and why completion rewires your confidence at the deepest level. Chapter 4. Finish what you start. There is a quiet kind of power that only appears when you finish what you start. A power that doesn't make noise, doesn't demand attention, doesn't brag, but reshapes your entire identity from the inside out. Because finishing is not about the task. Finishing is about the person you become when you refuse to abandon your commitments. Most people live in a world of half-built bridges, half-read books, half-cleaned rooms, half-written plans, half-hearted efforts, half-finished dreams. They start with excitement, but they never follow through. They begin with motivation, but they never stay long enough to grow discipline. They begin with desire, but they never complete the process long enough to see results. And over time, they train their brains to accept unfinished things as normal. This is the real pain. Every time you quit on something small, you reinforce the belief that you can't be trusted with something big. You weaken your self-image. You weaken your discipline. You weaken your momentum. You weaken your confidence. Because confidence is not born from achievement. Confidence is born from completion. When you finish, you prove something to yourself. I keep my word. I follow through. I can rely on myself. I don't stop when it gets boring. I don't collapse when it gets uncomfortable. This is the identity shift most people never experience because they quit too soon, too often, too easily. But you're here because you're rewiring your mindset, and rewiring requires completion. Rewiring requires closure. Rewiring requires the discipline to push something across the finish line. Not perfectly, but intentionally. Before we talk about how to build this habit, we need to acknowledge the painful truth. Starting feels good. Finishing feels uncomfortable. Starting is exciting. Starting is dopamine. Starting is novelty. Starting is fantasy. Finishing is different. Finishing is slow. Finishing is repetitive. Finishing is unglamorous. Finishing is disciplined. Finishing requires discomfort tolerance. This is why most people abandon their goals. They only know how to enjoy beginnings, not how to commit to endings. But if you want to rewire your mindset, you must change your relationship with finishing. Because finishing is not talent, it's training. And the more you train it, the more unstoppable you become. Let's break this habit into a practical system you can implement every day. Step 1. Choose one unfinished task and complete it today. Not 10, not 5, not even 3, just one. You already know which one. The email you haven't sent, the message you haven't replied to, the closet you haven't organized, the work project you left hanging, the book you abandoned. At Chapter 4. The small task that drains your mental energy every time you remember it. Completing one unfinished thing doesn't just remove clutter. It removes cognitive weight. It frees mental space. It gives your brain a sense of closure. It builds the identity of someone who finishes. Today, you finish one thing. Tomorrow, you finish another. Slowly, your life becomes a series of completions instead of abandoned attempts. Step 2. Create a finish list, not a to-do list. To-do lists grow endlessly. Finish lists create momentum. A finish list has only 3 rules.
How much can someone learn realistically in 3 hours all about AI?
In just 3 hours, you will be learning how you can automate 95% of your work, how you can build functioning applications in just a matter of 3 to 4 minutes, analyze your data in just a matter of 2 to 3 minutes, do your Excel reports, presentations, dashboards in under 1 minute. All of these things sounds gimmicky, but are possible if you know the correct AI tools.
This fulfillment that I am already living. As you do this, feel your body relaxing even further, the last remaining fragments of resistance melting away like ice in warm water. You are no longer holding on. You are no longer chasing. You are no longer afraid. You are home. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrational states available to a human being. Where genuine gratitude lives, fear and lack cannot simultaneously reside. And where fear is absent, where the desperate energy of needing something to happen finally releases its grip, manifestation begins to move. Because you are no longer pleading with the universe to give you something. You are saying, I have already received it. I accept it. I am grateful for it. And that shift from grasping to receiving, from lack to gratitude, is the shift that changes everything. Now we arrive at one of the most mysterious, least discussed, and yet most vital dimensions of this entire process, the fifth element. The question of why you must never share your desires with others before they have fully crystallized into solid reality. Why silence is not merely useful, but absolutely essential. What Jung described as the hermetic vessel, and what many ancient traditions understood as the principle of energy containment, is the deep energetic reason behind what many cultures have long called the evil eye. This is not superstition. This is an energy law of the highest order. Every word you speak about your desire, before it has hardened into concrete reality, is an energy leak. It is a power drain. When you excitedly tell someone, I am going to do this, I am going to buy this house, I am starting this relationship, I am building this business, you are not simply sharing information. You are releasing outward the very fire that needs to remain contained within you. The fire that feeds, nourishes, and grows the dream into being. Jung and the mystics and alchemists who came before him all said the same thing across different ages and different traditions. Be silent and protect what you carry. In the science of alchemy, the transformation can only occur when the vessel is sealed completely. If you open the lid, the pressure, the heat, the contained energy escapes, and the gold never forms. The moment you announce your intention to someone, especially someone who doubts your capacity, someone who is skeptical of your potential, someone who carries their own unhealed wounds about what is possible, you crash directly into the wall of their limiting beliefs. Their doubt enters your mind. Their skepticism seeps into your inner architecture like a slow-moving virus. And the fortress of belief you are carefully building begins to crack from within. Remember always, every great desire begins in a state of tender fragility, like an embryo, like a seed. It is delicate. It is unformed. It requires darkness, warmth, silence, and protection in order to take root and grow strong enough to survive the light. If you keep digging up a seed to check whether it is germinating, the seed dies. Your dreams work in precisely the same way. Expose them to the cold air of other people's judgment and skepticism too soon, and they wither before they ever had a chance to become real. In this context, silence is not a prohibition. It is an act of profound self-trust. If you genuinely trust yourself and trust the process unfolding within you, you do not need anyone else's approval or validation. Seeking external confirmation is essentially saying, "My own belief is not strong enough to sustain this. Please help me believe." But real power does not announce itself. Real power does not advertise or seek applause. It works quietly, invisibly, with absolute consistency. And one day you simply walk out the door and discover that your reality has been transformed. Modern psychology actually confirms and validates Jung's position on this with remarkable precision. When a person shares their goal with others and receives enthusiastic praise and encouragement in return, yes, that feels wonderful. The brain releases a surge of dopamine. A sense of achievement washes through the body. A feeling of satisfaction arrives. But here is the critical problem with that experience. The brain cannot distinguish between the dopamine released by actually accomplishing something and the dopamine released by simply talking about accomplishing it. The reward has already been delivered without the work, without the transformation, without the genuine inner shift. And what happens next is almost inevitable. Your motivation drops. The internal tension and energy required to move toward that goal quietly dissipates. Everything remains beautifully articulated and completely unrealized. Jung said it with characteristic precision. The one who knows does not speak. The one who speaks does not know. Know on the inside. Stay silent on the outside. When inspiration arrives, move into action. But protect your intention at the energetic level with the same fierce and sacred care you would offer to the most precious thing you have ever been entrusted with. You owe no one a report on what you are in the process of manifesting. This is your inner alchemy. This is your spiritual privacy. Power works in silence. Just as a child grows in the quiet darkness of the womb without announcing itself, just as trees extend themselves toward the sky without making a single sound. And one day you simply step forward and your reality has already changed around you. People will say you were lucky, but you will know the truth. What they are calling luck is the new identity you wove together in those quiet and deliberate nights, thread by silent thread. So do not rush to speak. Rush to feel. Do not try to convince anyone. Simply experience. Do not announce. Embody. The longer you hold that desire within you unspoken, the more it concentrates. It gains mass. It matures. It transforms into a magnet of extraordinary force, drawing the right people, the right opportunities, the right synchronicities toward you effortlessly and silently. Because you are no longer broadcasting lack and desperate need. You are broadcasting completion, certainty, and quiet wholeness. Now let us arrive at the final and most transformative teaching, the principle Jung called beginning from the end. The ancient technique that converts desire into reality faster than anything else available to the human mind. Act as though your desire has already been fulfilled, not in theory, not in some imagined future, not with the hesitant qualifier of maybe one day. Right now, in this present moment, already fulfilled, already real, already yours. This is the cornerstone of everything Jung taught and everything the great teachers of consciousness who came after him built upon. Feel the result as already received. Think from the result as already achieved. Behave as the person who already lives inside that reality. Instead of praying, "Give me this," move into the frequency of "Thank you for giving me this." Instead of "God, please make this happen," inhabit the frequency of "Thank you for this that has already been granted to me." This is not self-deception. This is entering into conscious resonance with a parallel reality in which your desire has already fully materialized. Your subconscious mind cannot reliably distinguish between what is objectively real and what is vividly, emotionally, and sensorially imagined. It follows the feelings, the images, and the emotional states you feed it with complete and unconditional obedience. If you carry the inner knowing that everything is well, that everything is complete, that everything is already as it should be, then the external world is compelled to bow to that inner conviction and reorganize itself in alignment with it. Jung taught this with extraordinary simplicity. Do not desire, accept, receive. If your greatest dream had been fulfilled 5 minutes ago, what would change in your body right now? How would the expression on your face soften? How would your voice settle into a deeper, quieter register? How would your posture shift? Your spine lengthening, your shoulders dropping away from your ears? How would your breath slow and deepen into something that finally feels like rest? What would you stop doing? What worries would you simply stop carrying? Which anxieties would dissolve the moment you knew, truly knew, that it was done? These details, these micro shifts in posture, in breath, in facial expression, in the quality of your attention, are the actual keys to manifestation. They are not cosmetic changes. They are vibrational signatures. When you enter the feeling of completion and fulfillment at this level of physical, embodied specificity, the vibration you are broadcasting into the field around you shifts entirely. you begin transmitting to the universe, I am certain. I am complete. I am whole. And the universe does not respond to what you want. It responds to who you are, to the signal you are genuinely emitting in each moment. Do you want love in your life? Begin living as someone who is already unconditionally loved and deeply accepted, and watch how love finds its way to you through channels you never anticipated. Do you want financial freedom? Begin carrying the inner ease, the quiet generosity, and the relaxed confidence of someone whose relationship with money is already healthy and resolved. And watch how abundance begins flowing toward you through unexpected doors. Do you want healing? Before your body has fully recovered, feel yourself healthy, vital, and alive in your cells. And watch how the body follows the consciousness that leads it. Because you are not demanding, you are not begging, you are radiating. You are not walking toward the desire, you are standing within it and looking back from the place of having. You are not becoming someone who will eventually have this. You are being someone who already does. And that is the entire secret contained within Jung's analyses of the sudden and inexplicable healings, the miraculous turnarounds, the transformations that seemed to defy rational explanation. He helped his patients inhabit their healed state. Not tomorrow, not after the next treatment, not eventually, but now, in the present moment, with full and genuine feeling. This is not a theory. This is a principle that has been tested and proven in the lives of thousands of people across generations. When a human being truly feels that they have already received what they sought, they stop struggling. They stop searching. They stop gripping and forcing and controlling. And in that moment of genuine surrender, in that profound and peaceful stillness, the magic begins. Things arrive naturally, because you are no longer clinging to them with the desperate energy of need. They are already there. They were always there. This is what Jung called archetypal integration. You are no longer the one searching for the result. You are the result. And if you can maintain this state, even for a few deliberate minutes each day, you will witness everything around you beginning to shift. Sometimes the shift begins within the 4 minutes themselves. Sometimes it begins in the exact second you finally and completely release the resistance you have been holding. Because the universe does not respond to your words, it responds to that inner feeling of, it is finished, it is complete, it is done. So now, everything you have absorbed in this video comes together into one single, clear, and immediately actionable practice. Tonight, before you sleep, find your quiet place. Close your eyes. Breathe deliberately and slowly, releasing everything that does not belong to this sacred space. And then imagine, not from a distance, from within, your desire has already been fulfilled. Feel it in your body before you feel it in your mind. Feel the warmth expanding in your chest. Feel the genuine smile arriving on your face without effort. Feel the weight that has been lifted. Feel the certainty that has replaced the fear. And then whisper inwardly with your whole heart, "Thank you." Not as a plea, as a declaration, as the closing of a circle, as the recognition that what you called for has already answered. You are not practicing hope. You are practicing truth. You are not rehearsing a future. You are inhabiting a present that simply hasn't become fully visible yet. And that is the single most important distinction Carl Jung ever offered to the world. The difference between a life spent waiting and a life spent creating. One deliberate 4 minutes at a time. One genuine feeling of completion at a time. One act of silent, unwavering inner certainty at a time. If this message has moved something real within you, if even one idea here has opened something that felt previously closed, subscribe to Carl Jung Philosophy for more content that reaches beneath the surface of how we think, feel, and create our experience of being alive. Share this with someone who is ready to stop waiting for their life to change from the outside and finally begin changing it from within. Because the power has always been there. It has always been yours. Today, you simply remembered where it lives.
ମାଉସୀ ବହୁତ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରିକ୍ଟ ଅଛନ୍ତି ଏଇଠି। ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ଟାଇମ୍ ଦେଖା ହେବେ ନା ଶାଶୁ ଘରେ ବି। ତମ ସହିତ କିଛି ଫଟୋ ଫଟୋ ନାହିଁ, ମୋର ଆଉ ୟାର ଅଲଗା ବୁକିଂ କରିବ ତମ ଫଟୋ। ତାଙ୍କର ଡେଲିଭରି କେବେ? କାହାର ମିଳିବ? ଆଁ?